Hey, what's up, guys? So, I wanted to share an idea with you. It has to do with conformity and obedience and your own mind, I guess, is the real thing. And I want you to be in full control of your own mind and your own future and your own choices you make to the extent that it is possible. Now, what I want to talk about is compliance. Now, compliance as a uh, form of control that a lot of people, governments, um, things like that can use exercise on you, I guess is really a good way to put it. So you have I'll give you an example to start with. Okay, so uh, China, very powerful, long-standing empire, and highly intelligent, and as a large empire and a government, no matter how you feel about them, it doesn't really matter because they are masters at gaining compliance. Now, compliance is, in its simplest form, getting you to do something that somebody else wants you to do and getting you to comply with their request. Now, I mentioned China because there was some well documented information that there were American POWs when they were behind enemy lines and they were captured and not killed. Um, they were taken prisoner by the Chinese. Now, what the Chinese did is unconventional, I guess would be a really good way to say it. What they did, it was they would get these POWs into a weakened emotional state where they were tired and mentally kind of worn down. They would bring them into a room and they would say, "Hey, now we want you to say, we don't, no, I'm sorry, let me start again. We don't want you to say, we hate America. But I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind, I mean, we know you don't hate America, but would you say America may not be perfect in every way?" And the soldier, the prisoner of war, would consider that and say, "Well, I mean, yes, okay, yeah, I mean, that's what we thought too, just, they're not perfect." And so then they would give them a piece of paper, a book, a notebook, something to write on, and they would say, "Okay, now, can you just write that in that book that America may not be perfect?" And the soldier, it was a small request, didn't seem like anything that really mattered either way because he knew how he feels inside, and he wasn't, conceding to their, saying they hate America. So yeah, sure, they would comply to that one very small request. And then they would, whatever, go back to their cell, whatever that situation was. The next day, they would bring them again, and they would have another request. It wasn't the same as the previous day. It would say, we're just hypothetically say it was like, um, I don't hate America, but you know, sometimes I may not agree with everything that you know America does. Also, very small, slightly elevated, but very small. Okay, sure. So they would write that in the book. It's not that big of a deal. This process went on and on and on until they reached a point where they had so much built up inside their mind They didn't realize the subtlety of it, but every one of these little tiny concessions would lead to a bigger one, and a bigger one, and a bigger one, until these POWs found themselves on the other side of things, not realizing what was going on, thinking that they were doing the right thing now by supporting China, the previous enemy who had held them captive. Was now their savior, was now their beacon of light in a world of darkness. This is how compliance works. No matter what the situation, it always starts with a small, seemingly unimportant request. The request may be, hey, why don't you put this sticker in your window? It's no big deal. Just says that you like elephants over donkeys or whatever the case may be. You prefer this kind of, lawn service over that kind of lawn service. Sure, that's not really a big deal. Yeah, go ahead and put that in there. It happens, you're going to see it more from a sales perspective. And that's really going to be the more innocent version of it, is somebody coming to your door offering to sell you something and you don't want to do that. Okay, well, that's fine. Hey, would you mind if we just put a sign in your yard that says, you think that our security company is kind of good, or something like that? And it's a small request. It's a step back from the big request of buying their product, and it doesn't really cost you anything. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Why don't you go ahead? You can just, go ahead and stick that sign in the yard. It's small anyway, little sign. And that's how it starts. The next part of this process, you will see there will be a larger request made. And to maintain what you've already got going on inside of your brain, you will be a lot more likely to comply with that, unless you have been inoculated and you realize what is happening. So it's a means of control over many, many types of people. And the fact is, it happens so subtly that 99% of people never have a clue that it's happened. Only really people that have been trained in, I would say, high-level sales, psychology, and influence really would understand these concepts. But the person that does understand these concepts in their own, for their own self-preservation and their own independence and strength as strong men, or women for that matter in this case, or just anyone, it would give them a lot of personal power to realize when someone is trying to exercise this process on them. A lot of politicians use this process. They will call around, I get you to put a little sticker in your window that says you support this party. Very, very small request again. And then shortly after, usually within a week or two, you'll receive a phone call or a message or something, and they will be asking you to donate a large sum of money, which previously you would have been like, nah, I'm good, I'm keeping my money. But you've already started the process of complying. Once you start the process, it's very difficult to break out of it, because you have to maintain things inside of your brain, that consistency with the process. A very simple thing, you ever go to a car dealership, what do? Oh, would you guys like a water? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, cool. So they bring you water. Well, now you've started the process. You don't even know it. They're going to bring you that water. You're gonna drink it. You're gonna, oh, that's nice. They offered me water. But it's all part of the process. It's all part of them getting you to comply, because you've already said yes now. And throughout your conversation, throughout your visit, your probably very long visit to the car dealer, they will get you to say yes many more times. This creates a sequence in your mind that you have to maintain, which makes it much easier to comply. You've already said yes many times throughout to their requests. They're very small requests that you've complied to. And who's going to think that someone offering you a bottle of water could have any power in it at all, except for someone just being nice to you? Now, there's other things, reciprocation, can come into play with that as well. But primarily, we're talking about compliance today. And you'll need to, once you make that first step, that first acceptance of complying, it will be a lot harder to not comply after that. But now you've been inoculated. You've watched this video, you've listened to what I've said, and now next time someone makes a seemingly innocent request of you, you might think twice. And if you do accept, you may not have the same issue inside that would make you feel like you needed to continue complying to their requests. So, anyway, that's all for today. But I feel that's a really important lesson for you boys. Really important lesson for all you modern Vikings out there as well. And just something that was on my mind and I wanted to share. So, hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you again soon. Keep being awesome out there. Peace.